Welcome to the Bravo Charlie Club podcast, making you 12 and a half minutes more awesome each week. He's Ben, I'm Richard. Let's go.
Richard, episode 007. How do you like
007.
that? And we're middle-aged males. It absolutely resonates.
It's fantastic. We made
James
it this
Bond.
far.
Yeah, James Bond, the secret agent, the trained assassin. You know, we think we know about him, but he's still a man of mystery.
International man of mystery, I'd say.
Well, I think you're moving into Austin Powers territory. I think James Bond and Austin Powers are slightly different. Just a thought I had.
$1 million. I look a bit like it. Anyway.
It's interesting, talking about men of mystery, because a couple of times now I've been asked, what's the podcast all about? Why are we here? Who are we, and what are we trying to achieve? It's a lot of questions, and people, I think, feel like we put a whole lot of thought into this before we got started, and it's just not the case. We thought it would be easy, and
that's how wrong we were.
Yeah. And we decided to have a crack. However, I think listeners do deserve, those who don't know us, and thank goodness the ones that know us have stuck with us. But listeners who don't know us probably do need to know a little bit about ourselves. I think, we have a travel tip of the week because we've both travelled extensively for work, and we've both lived on 3 continents. But do you want to share a little bit more about your background and why you're here?
Yeah, to start at the beginning, software engineer by trade. I have lived in Australia, Melbourne and Brisbane, and spent some time in London and Bali as well for a few years. So I like travel and exploring new places. Have a daughter and a partner as well, and we're on the Gold Coast.
Nice. And I've got a wife and 2 kids. My kids have just left school, actually, so apparently I've got more time on my hands to do podcasts.
All this free time, Ben. Yeah.
And like you, lived in the UK and also in Canada. I've called 3 cities in Australia my home, so been very fortunate to do some travel across the journey as well. When did we meet?
I think it was we met in June or July 2003, training for Ironman New Zealand with the Psychos.
We thought that would be easy too, I think.
Well, easier, I think, if you get the training under your belt, certainly.
Yeah, no, that went all right.
Did go all right. That was great.
Good. Another one in the memory bank. Very nice.
So, Ben, some questions for the listeners. What's your favourite animal?
Favorite animal?
Favorite animal?
Be the
turtle. What?
Yeah, actually,
turtle? What's up with the turtle?
Specifically, the green sea turtle.
The green sea turtle.
Yeah, so I think if anyone's seen Finding Nemo, they'll remember the ride that they take on the causeway down the side of Australian.
The EAC, ocean. Dude.
Yeah. And I grew up doing surf lifesaving and heavily involved in lifesaving, but I wasn't a surfer. But the turtle style just resonated with me, and to be honest, I'm probably shaped a bit like a turtle at the moment. And they still love the water, which fits me to a T. Yeah.
Dutch, you've even got one for the listeners on podcasting platforms won't be able to see it, but in the video platforms, you've even got a big picture of a turtle in the background there.
Correct. Yep. Followed closely behind by my favourite bird, the kookaburra.
It's no coincidence.
Yeah. Have you got any funny mishaps you'd like to share if we're oversharing at this point?
Yes, well, we do. I think my funniest mishap is that time that I backed my girlfriend's car into my flatmate's car 2 days before I was about to head over to the States. So
sorry about that. Here's the keys.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's one of those incidents that, on reflection, gets more humorous the further you get away from it. So,
in the
not
moment,
funny at the time, but 25 years later or so, much more humorous.
I can imagine in the moment that was probably you could have sunk into a pretty deep hole and been quite happy.
Yes.
Hey, who would play you in a movie?
Oh, who would play me in a movie? We kind of give Hugh Jackman a lot of props on this pod, but Hugh, sorry, I think it's probably George Clooney, George all the
Yeah,
way.
probably
Solid George man, love his work. How
needs
about
a
you,
hair.
Ben?
He would need a haircut.
He would
I
need
think.
a haircut. He can wear one of
Yeah.
those wigs. I'm sure
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
worn
Oh,
that
fair, fair.
in
And look,
some
I
of
know
his.
listeners who stuck with us in the pilot probably assumed my answer was going to be Hugh Jackman, and we do have a lot of similarities. That's not in doubt. But the correct answer is, of course, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Yep.
Yeah, again, he would probably need a haircut. I think his efforts in the Jason Bourne series are incredible, and I just realised that James Bond and Jason Bourne have the same initials,
They
which
do. They could get their
yeah,
lunchboxes confused or something.
is there? Yeah, there's something. There's something going on there. Hey, where do you hope the podcast heads to? Like, what's your hopes and dreams for it?
Yeah, if we can just ship 100 episodes, just kind of stick to our format and
Wait, hang on.
travel
I thought
tips.
we agreed on 52.
A year's
One
worth.
a week for a year. Where did this 100
I
come
was
from?
following Mr. Beast of ship 100 videos and then come and talk to me. So
Okay.
sorry,
There you are, listeners. We've just committed to another 48 episodes we didn't know about.
you,
Please stay with us. I'm sure it'll be
yeah.
fun.
It's getting better all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And, my side, I guess it's a mini conundrum. We do the conundrum of the week. And when do you get to say that your podcast has gone viral? Like
What is it?
that's what
Yeah.
I would like to. That's what I would like to achieve for my podcast.
I guess it's when it's people that you don't know are sharing it with other people.
Yeah,
So,
fair call. Yeah.
but at scale, what does it? Would that mean 1,000? Would that mean 10,000? I'm not sure.
So, because we're 7 days in, we've had 200 listeners, which I've had a look at the stats on Spotify and Buzzsprout, which is the hosting platform, and that is actually quite a decent performance. So, thank you so much to the listeners who have stuck with us. That's because the pilot wasn't that good.
It's all up from there.
We're not going to hide from it.
We're certainly not trained podcasting professionals yet.
Yeah, we're not going to delete it either. So just keep that one
there
in your memory bank. Yeah. So what do the listeners expect on a week to week basis? Like we are following a formula, and I think that's in the podcasting world because it makes consistent tableau. So what are we going to deliver on a week to week basis, mate?
I think so. So we've got the Fully Awake project, which was our sort of opening segment, I guess.
Weird name.
It is a bit of a weird name, but sort of things that we stumble into or bump into over the week, things that open our eyes or things that kind of like jump out at us. There's always something new, always something interesting, I think. So
it started as the tech tip of the week, didn't it? And we
evolved from there into
there's more going on,
a bit more broad. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Cool. Okay.
And plus, then I was monopolizing all the airtime with my going on about AI and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I was getting a little lost.
Well, travel tip of the week, they brought it home, so I think balanced it back up. So there's a lot more we can both contribute pretty evenly from there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm conscious of the fact that we've spoken about the domestic carriers that we use in Australia, but the tips that we're sharing are definitely global.
Evergreen tips.
If you just replace the names we use with your preferred carrier, you're probably going to be well and truly on point. But yeah, there's some cool stuff, and I've had a look into the topic pond, as we like to refer to it.
Oh yeah, the content pipeline, folks.
There's a huge pipeline, and the travel tip pipeline is the biggest.
It is, yes.
Followed closely by the conundrum of the week, and I think I've already had listeners write in and say they've started to use conundrum in their daily conversational language, and that's a win. That's a win.
We are impacting the vernacular.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not viral, so to speak, but it's a massive win. So I'll take that. Thank you, KM in particular, who gave that feedback. Speaking of which, listener feedback is an
Listener
important.
feedback. Yep.
Yeah, it's an important part of the podcast because we want to feel connected to our listeners, and so leave a comment, send us a text. There's a link in the show notes. Join the Inner Sanctum on the WhatsApp.
Get into the WhatsApp group. Yeah.
That's the best place to give the listener feedback and get a note through to us, because we love to hear. We'll redact your name. We'll put your cat's name. Do whatever you want us to do. You can stay anonymous. There's no problems with that. So, hey, speaking of listener feedback, Richard, do you remember last week when I said that we weren't doctors?
Yes, I do. Yeah. It's still true. A week on.
That information is still accurate. A doctor has written in.
Oh, wow. Trained professionals listening to our show. That's awesome.
Yeah, which I'm very thankful for. They obviously had a 12.5-minute commute from their 3-story apartment in the inner city. Just correcting me on the fact that insulin, what I said was insulin doesn't need to be stored below 25 degrees. What I meant to say was insulin doesn't need to be stored below 5 degrees Celsius. It does need to be stored below 25 degrees. So thank you.
Refrigeration is fine.
Yeah, I knew what I meant, but at the heat of the moment, the fast pace of our podcast, just trying to keep up, I lost my way. And that's why we need the listener feedback. I appreciated that.
Keeping us honest.
Very much so. We wouldn't believe it. Our listener promise, 12.5 minutes to make them slightly more awesome in the week. Listeners have been BCC'd on our week, Richard. And in case someone's wondering, we feel like this is a blind carbon copy of the WhatsApp chat that Richard and I have throughout the week. That's where the BCC'd on the week comes from, guys. And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment, send us a text, join the Inner Sanctum. Bravo, Charlie.
And that's the pod.